The market drops into our key support area. Will it break or can the bulls fly high? This is Invest with Jacob. Okay, guys, so in yesterday's video, we talked about the NVDA earnings being a major catalyst in the market, and that's what we're seeing in the after hours as the market is jumping around. It did come down and test our key level of 55.85, but didn't quite break through, and the market is still hovering just above it now. So now the question is, can the market move down or will the bulls fly high? I'll get into that in just 1 second, but first, if you're new here, welcome to the show, guys. My name is Jacob Gabbard, and this is Invest with Jacob, where we use Elliott Wave Theory to break down the SP 500 and the NASDAQ. I highly encourage you to hit that subscribe button down below so that you can get our daily S&P updates, our trade setups, and our buy alerts. All right, guys, with the market moving down to our support area, let's jump into the chart and take a look. Okay, guys, so here we are on the 1 hour futures chart for the S&P 500. You can see our 55.85 area, this low. They came down and tested it. They moved slightly lower, but then moved right back up out of there and bounced. So they did not break that low, although they made a lower price. Breaking that low means actually pushing through. You could even get a back test, but then actually escaping from that area and moving on. So we did not break that area we have held so far, but they are just above it at 55.98, and they are jumping around quite a bit here as the NVIDIA earnings unravel. So the question will be after, the overnight session into the morning, are we looking to see this market come down in a B wave, or are they going to try to take it directly higher in a wave 5? I'm not so sure they're going to go to 5,800 given the overall structure now. And the reason for that is we do have a pretty clear 3 of 3, 4 of 3, all of 3, then wave 4, and then you'd have a wave 5 higher. And I think it would be about a double top on the ES, so it probably makes a new high on the SPX and the SPY. But on the ES, it comes up and hits this top, and then I would look for a pullback off of that area. So if that is the case, we would look for that B wave pullback. It would be slightly higher, 5450 to 5400 if they come up here first. If not, we're still looking at that B wave in the 5350 to 5400 area. Now, the only other option really in this, in my opinion right now, is if they grind up here. If they get up here and grind instead of rejecting, then I could see them squeezing out over here, and then we'd look at 5,800 directly, possibly even 5,850. I think that's a little bit of a stretch given the overall structure, but 5,800 would be what we'd look for if they're unable to completely reject this high up here on a move up. So essentially we have 3 paths that we're looking at, and that is, do they spike it higher and then down? Do they bring it straight down into this B wave area? Or do they push directly to 5,800, which I think is much less likely? I do think that the B wave in one form or another is the most likely outcome. We've been talking about that for a long time. That's been our primary for a long time. So I do think that that is what will play out. But again, a push out over the previous high on the ES would push us in a more direct path towards 5,800 plus over on the NASDAQ. Now, I've said a couple times, if you're in camp pullback, the NASDAQ is the chart for you. The NASDAQ has been weaker. It still hasn't pushed over at 764. It has now broken through its 236, which is a key level to tell you that we're much more likely in this B wave pullback and a move like this. So it wouldn't be impossible to see a bounce back up in a smaller B wave and then on down into that target area. And that is kind of where we're at on the NASDAQ. With the break of the 236, the B wave becomes our primary count. We would be looking for overall a move down, a bounce, and then a continuation into this 18,692 to 18,377 area, the breakout area from over here, this blue box that we had as a breakout box where they broke out, coming back to test that, and then we would look for them to hold support and move higher. Now remember, the ES has been weaker, or the NASDAQ has been weaker than the ES. It has not gotten above its 764 retrace. It is nowhere near its highs, and it is pushing below its 236 overall off of this retrace, whereas the ES is over its 764, has not gotten down to its 236, and overall is just a little stronger of a chart. So tech is getting beat up a little bit here. We'll see if NVIDIA can save it overnight and into the morning, but as of right now, our primary count would be this to be an ABC down into this 18,600 to 18,400 area, 18,377 area. In a B wave, and then we'd start to see if the NASDAQ can find some strength and push higher from there. Now, if they're going to push directly higher, that is a possibility where you would have this move up here. This would be all of wave 3. You'd have a wave 4 down and then wave 5 up. I don't think they would make a new high. It's too much of a stretch for that wave 5. I would look at the 20,350 level to hold. Up to 20,550. That would be the area I'd look for this top, and then a pullback after that. That would coincide with the ES trying to double top on its move up as well. but that would be our alternate count as it stands right now. And don't forget, on both charts, guys, should they play out, and this is a longer term play out, should they play out a 5-wave move to the downside, we would turn bearish at that time. But the move off of the top of both charts does not look like a 5-wave move down. It looks corrective off the top. So I'm not really considering that at this time unless things change on the chart. Guys, if you love the information I put out in these videos and you want real-time market updates from me, you need to check out investwithjacob.com. There's a link down in the description. Go ahead and click that link, and it'll take you right over to the webpage. Once you're there, check out our membership plans area. We have 2 incredible monthly plans, and they both come with a 7-day free trial because I want you to get in there, make sure you love it, become part of our trading team, interact with PT and I, and make sure it's for you before you ever spend a penny. You can cancel at any time. We also have our educational material, our Elliott Wave for Beginners online course, as well as our Advanced Elliott Wave course. These courses are helping people understand this complex market and how to trade it. In our advanced course, we are going over the more advanced concepts such as your flats, your double and triple threes, your diagonals, your advanced fib levels, everything you need to know to understand a complex market. As you can see on the screen, our traders are really loving it. But if this is too complex for you to get started, we also have our Elliott Wave for Beginners online course. This course is helping real traders make real money and finally understand this market in a way that makes sense. It's so weird when good news makes the market go down. For instance, NVDA earnings are pushing down right now, even though they crushed their earnings. And bad news makes the market go up. That's because Elliott knew that the news cycles didn't matter long ago and that key levels did. He knew what happened when those key levels held and when they broke. And this gives you a huge advantage over the rest of the market. This course is 25 videos where I go through 3 parts. We go through your introduction, where we go through your expectations, your mindset and emotion, the KISS method, and why Elliott Wave works. We go through the chart setup and tools, where you can see all of the tools we use with Elliott Wave and how to use them. And we go through the Elliott Wave for Beginners area, where we go through each of the waves, how to measure them, how to understand how they're working, the pivot, the theory of alternation, the corrective depth theory, everything you need to know to make sense of an irrational market. Now, the cool thing about these plans is if you want to get them both at a discount, you can. You can buy them both at the same time for $37 off with our bundle pack. But if you want to pay nothing at all for these courses, simply join one of our monthly rooms, as they are included in that price. In our first room, the Invest with Jacob room, you get all of my real-time market updates, all of my buy and sell alerts, all of your Elliott Wave questions answered, a midday video where we go through all of the counts, all of the charts, a big picture view of the market and everything you need to know, as well as all of the educational material you just saw. We trade the SPY and the QQQ, and we swing in day trade, so we do trade quite often in my room. Now, if you're looking for individual stocks, income trading, advanced training, and futures trading, you need to check out PT's Throne Room. In there, you get everything you get in the Invest with Jacob room, as well as futures trading, individual stocks. His income trading method just kills it, and his reduced risk binary method that gets you in at a cheap price, that gets you big multiples on your money. And it's how he structures that trade that's so unique. Something you really have to see to understand, and that's another reason we give you that 7-day free trial. He also started a challenge account where he put $4,000 into an account trading mini ES futures, showing you how to build a small account into a large retirement or savings account. Guys, we'd love to have you in these rooms so we can all make money together. All right, our key takeaways for today: 55.85 is the first major level on the ES. Then we look at 55.40. Below that, we start to look at this B wave in the 53.50 to 5400 area. If they do spike it higher, I would look for a double topish type of move and then down into that 5400 area before moving up towards 5800 after that. Over on the NASDAQ, same type of setup, only the NASDAQ is much weaker. I would be looking for this B wave down to the 18,692 to 18,377 area. From there, we would look for a stronger move up on the NASDAQ. If they do take it higher, I would expect them to hold the 20,350 to 20,550 area and turn down from there in that B wave. Guys, that is your market update for today. I'll talk to you tomorrow.